Alright, what's up guys? VV back with another video. And in today's video, we're going to be checking out purple, yellow Croc on the sim. We got Showtime Croc on here. And guys, I really enjoy this color combination. But I feel like the main factor that hurts this deck, just like the main factor that hurts black, yellow, Linlen, by the way, is there's just not enough like type support. So notice there's no searcher. Now, yes, we do have card draw in the form of like Queen. We do have ways to search with things like Ohm. But, you know, we're missing that unifying factor that like Sakazuki has, right? Like Sakazuki has a Navy package, right? Enel has a Sky Island or Big Mom Pirates package. Purple Luffy doesn't really have any kind of special package, but it gets to draw 2 cards a turn, similar to how Whitebeard was, like with his leader effect, and he can ramp into the late game and get value in that way. And he does have cards that cycle like Queen and whatnot. But the point is, you know, it's a little bit different with Purple Luffy. It's more about establishing a tempo, and I feel like that's the direction I tried to make this deck work. Because if you're not going to be able to generate enough value from your searchers and get all the specific cards you need, well, you need to draw cards in some ways, right? Like, so that's why we got the Missile Sundays. That's why we got the Queens. You have to have at least some type of card draw. But still, there's just not a lot that, like, really unifies the deck together. Yet, you know, at least, and this is just this version. Like, there are Baroque work stuff that they're starting to work on for this leader. If you go to, like, purple, nothing in yellow just yet, but notice there is some decent purple support for Baroque works, and one of them is even a searcher, but I feel like it needs so much more. Okay, so let's go ahead and dive into the games. I just want to show you all the list here so that way I don't have to post it in the comment section below. And one more thing before I go any further is, like I said, there are many ways you can approach this deck. You can go more of the Baroque work stuff because there is some decent cards in here. Like where's the 2K? Yeah, Miss Doublefinger. I'm only running 8 2Ks, I believe, in this deck. Or no, excuse me, I am running 12. 4 ultis, 4 Satori, and 4 beige. But there's a lot of different directions you can go with the deck. You can go with more of the Baroque works. You can go even a Sky Island package. Right, I haven't tried it, but like thinking about it, you could probably even go like Big Mom Pirates, stuff like that. But you know, this is just the version that I tried, and the 5 cost slot is so big in this deck that it is really hard to justify fitting in the cards you really want to. Like for example, like Gidatsu, I wanted to put Gidatsu in this list, but I wanted to run the Magellans, the Missile Sundays, and the Queens. Like, I needed the card draw from Missile Sunday and Queen because I don't have any, and then it's like, maybe you could run Gidatsu over Magellan, but now you're not trying to do a tempo strategy anymore. You're trying to do more of a, you know, more of a late game strategy where you get full value out of your Gidatsus and then start going into the late game. And that is an option, right? Maybe you add Katakuris at that point. You know, there's a lot of different options. But okay, so let's go ahead and hop into it, guys. Let's go into the games. Let me bring up the. Here we go. So the first game we have up is going to be against Sakazuki. Let me make sure the sound's off. Let's put the speed up to 2. And I got some good games in today on the sim, and the deck was running pretty smooth. And like I said, I am going for more of a tempo strategy, which is why I'm running the Ohm Holly Pick package and the Ulti Page 1 package. And it did pretty well. So, okay, so now focusing more on the game. This guy plays out a Maynard, so I know he's got some kind of spice in his list. So I'm like, okay, I'm just going to swing 8. I have no other play. I didn't get a Holly on time, so I'm just going to swing 8, and I end up getting his blocker off the board. And one thing I will say while this guy's deciding his turn, one thing that it felt like the deck was lacking an early game. Like, yes, if I can go like turn 2 Ohm or turn 2 Ulti and get the full, you know, the double bodies out with their effects, then it feels pretty solid. But not having a good 1 or 2 drop did not feel good. Even a good 3 drop outside of a Holly or Holy. Sorry, guys. So right here he plays out a Borsellino. So I've got 4 Dawn here. I want to keep on pressure. That's why I didn't play the Queen. I try to go out with an Ohm because I'm like, okay, you know, there's a pretty good chance I'll get a Holy, but I might not. So I don't get it. Ends up, you know, he ends up wiping my board very easily with a Hound Blaze and establishing another blocker in Rebecca. And he did use a 2K counter, which I was like, okay, well that's decent at least. I'm going to play out my Pauly here, get a body on the board. I'm not worried about his Suru. That's a 0 power character. I'm not worried at all about that. So I'm just going to swing 6 at life. And he actually... okay, pause. He actually uses his Borsellino. So I'm thinking, okay, he's probably going to recycle that later with another Rebecca or like a Moncherie effect. And then he plays out Sanji's Pilaf. Or, excuse me, a 3,000 Worlds followed by a Sanji's Pilaf. And now he's going to swing 6. So very, very strong turn there. But at the same time, one of the big problems with events in the game of One Piece, like in the entire game of One Piece, one of the big problems with events is they don't establish a body. Like, obviously they don't, right? They're events. They're not characters. Well, in this game, I feel like there are just too many strong characters to justify running events in most spots. So, for example, I'm sorry, guys, I got to pause one more time to talk about it. Why run a Sanji's Pilaf when you can just run a Hina, a Branu, or the new Tashigi coming out, like a body that draws a card? Because that's still like a 2-for-1 in this game, right? Like, you're getting the body, there's like your Sanji's Pilaf, and you're drawing the card to replace it. I know Sanji's Pilaf technically draws 2 cards as opposed to just 1, but you're establishing a body in the process, and in the game of One Piece, that's actually more important. Same idea with 3,000 Worlds. Why would I run 3,000 Worlds when I can just run, what's the name, Rob Lucci, or the 7-cost Borsellino, right? That's kind of the idea there. Like, yes, you might not be able to get it on the turn you want it, but the point is it gets you a body and it gets you tempo on the board. And that's huge in the game of One Piece, is just like winning the board. So since he did that, since he played out a 4-cost and 3-cost event, I just established an 8-cost body, gain a life, and then he red rocks it. So again, that's his whole turn again. He doesn't get to do he doesn't have any relevant follow-up. He attacks, I get a Satori trigger, play out a 5k body. We'll take it. We'll take it every time. Okay, and now he has to pass because that was his entire turn. So I'm like, okay, let's go sideways. We'll go 5 at face, get a card out of hand. Let's go 6 at face because I only need 9 Dawn for my next turn, which is a big play here. Queen, draw 2, trash 1, trash a page 1, ulti, and play out page 1. So next turn I'll be back up to 10 Dawn and look at my board. Like, I just recaptured the board. Now, again, this is Sakazuki. It's not like he's going to struggle in removing this board, right? Like, obviously, oops, sorry guys. Sakazuki is not going to struggle in taking the board back. I'm not blowing my double 2k counters on that Satori because I could just play another Satori next turn if I need it, if I need it that bad. Plays out Monshri, gets back Rebecca, plays out Rebecca to probably play out a Hina, maybe? I'm not sure. Because he can't really play out anything else. Okay, yeah, plays out the Hina. If he had a brand new, that would have been ideal there. But okay, so I'm like, all right, well, I'm just going to go for your Monshri. That's got to go. I would swing every character into that if I had to. Like, I'm not letting him keep that because it's too much. It generates too much value over the course of the game. So he actually lets me take his Hina with 1 hit, which was nice. Because I figured he was going to like maybe counter out for 1, but he only has 3 cards in hand, so that's actually asking a lot for him. Okay, and then I swing 7 or 8 or something like that at life. He blocks, play out my I think this is my 2nd Crocodile. So I'm gaining life, I'm getting big bodies down. Now, again, this is Sakazuki, so he can remove it. But the point is, I'm forcing all these answers out of his hand. So he swings 7, I use the what's his name's effect, the Crocodile's effect, and just let it go. He Lucci's my board, and I'm back to square one. Now, one thing I will say going forward with this deck is maybe I could add in like some Blast Waves or something like that, some type of 1-cost event like Narkabura Arrow, but yeah, we'll have to see. Excuse me, guys, my allergies. Okay, so swing 5 at life, he takes it, so I'm like, okay, he must be low on triggers. I just fill out the board to the best of my ability here. Paulie to pop the Lucci, and then play out Holy. So let's see what he does. And in my mind, I'm thinking he has got to be running out of answers because he has to play a blocker this turn or wipe both of my characters. And he doesn't know I have an Enel in hand, by the way. That's the bad part. So I get a base trigger here. I use it on his Sakazuki because I thought he might have had a Rob Lucci in hand. He didn't have a Rob Lucci in hand because I was going to try and shut that off. But you'll see, we're about to go through the rest of his cards here. Swing 6. Okay, I'm like, swing 6 more. And now swing 7. And no trigger, so swing 7 more. And that should be game. Or excuse me, he had a blocker. So he did have a blocker. Otherwise, it would have been game. But what is he supposed to do here, right? There's pretty much no way out of this. He has 2 cards in hand. He has a leader cycle. He used brand new this turn, so that's going to at least get him something he might need. Try to clean up the board. I'm like, okay, since you invested the 2 Dawn into it, I'm going to let you have this one. But now if you try to invest only 2 Dawn in the next one, I'm not going to let you have it. And I can easily double 2k counter out of this. And now that's game, right? There's no way out now. There's no way out of this. He has 1 card in hand, no life, 1 blocker. So swing 7 at life. And swing 7 at life, and that's game. Very nice. So that was the first one against Sakazuki. That was a good game. Interesting deck. That deck had a lot of spicy, cards in it with the 3,000 worlds and the red rocks, Maynards. It had some cool stuff, and the players seemed pretty decent. You know, you never know what you're going to get from the sim. I will say that, but but anyway. So moving on to this next game, we got an Enel matchup. So Enel, I feel like this deck's not going to be particularly good against yellow decks because, number one, they both have access to the same card pool, and whenever you have a deck that's just like, okay, he's going to swing 5, by the way, I'm going to take it. And right here, by the way, is huge. That Trafalgar Law, that's why I run that, the purple 4-cost blocker law, because that card just dumped 2 cards out of his hand, and I got a blocker out of it. Just huge. And I just get set back 1 Dawn for the turn. I'm fine with that. But yeah, the yellow decks and even like Purple Luffy, I feel like will struggle. Like, this deck will struggle against like the yellow decks and Purple Luffy. Not to say you can't win. I think you absolutely can win, but it's going to be a struggle. So counter out with Beige because this is a 6k attack. I need to ramp a little bit here. You see me mousing over the Miss All Sunday. So let's see what I do here. Yeah, it only costs 5, so I'm going to swing 6. That way I can keep my blocker on, unrested. Play out a Miss All Sunday to ramp and draw a card, and I got a 5k body out of that. But let's see what he does. He's got a pretty decent board here. Okay, and he Thunderbolts. He's going to Thunderbolt my Trafalgar Law off the board, which is kind of weird. I feel like you should have just taken out the bigger character, 5-cost character. Just in case, it comes down to like a 200 million volts of Maru or something, you'll be able to just tap my guy down if needed. But that's all right. It's up to him. Not necessarily a bad play. It's just that's my mindset on it. That would be my logic in who I would Thunderbolt. So he's got characters tapped, so I'm going to take advantage of that. A lot of players in this situation would probably just drop down their Croc, the 8-cost Croc here to gain a life, which is not necessarily a bad play, but it is a really good idea to eat up the board. Right, so it's like, okay, let me just establish a board and eat up his board at the same time and get cards out of his hand. It's, use what you have available to you if you can, because that's the best way to generate value. Because now I've taken out his Gadatsu, and he has to put an attack into my Miss All Sunday if he wants to get rid of it. So it ends up trading off for itself, and you should always be trying to battle for board. So okay, so he's gonna drop down Katakuri here, 4-cost 6k Katakuri, swinging 8, 9, 10. 10 at my Missile Sunday. Absolutely, you can have that every single time. And then he Thunderbolts, and I don't know if this was a play mistake or he was just that confident that he was not going to lose the game this turn. But if you Thunderbolt on your turn as an L, you don't get the effect because the effect is on opponent's turn. Okay, so I swing 7, so I'm going to force him to use 2 cards out of hand here or his blocker, and then I'm just going to establish a big body, gain a life, and I'm feeling good about next turn. Now, of course, he can gain life, and here he goes. He does that with Yamato right here. And it looks like he's going to have a 6k attack and another 6k. So I use my Crocodile's effect, the character, and then I counter out of this with a 2k. Okay, he does not attack with Katakuri, so I'm thinking, all right, that's interesting. So I need to keep establishing a board here. We'll just drop down Queen, trash the Magellan. We don't need that anymore. And I'm thinking, like, I'm just going to play out. I'm just going to fill the board up here. You should never attack into the leader unless you can do 2 attacks that will elicit a response. Because if he gives me a 2k counter here, I don't attack with my Croc. But since he took it, now I am going to attack with my Croc and eat up his Sanji here or eat up his last life card. So you should never attack into their last life unless you have 2 relevant attacks that can actually get through. Now, if they do a beige trigger, well, that's fine. At least you got it out of the way. It is what it is. But yeah, so he only swings 9 into my Crocodile. I'm like, no, we're not going to let you have it for 9. You're for 10. He's going to go 11. Swing at it for 11. I let him have that because I'm thinking I only need 3 bodies on the board. Like, if I even need that many, by the way, because I'm just trying to go for game right here. So let's swing 7 at life. Takes it. Let's see if he gets a beige trigger or something. 7 at life. Okay. And yeah, he doesn't get a trigger. So swing 12. GG. And I had 2 Satoris coming from life. Very nice. If it made it to that point. Whoops. I just hit play again. All right, next game. So the next one is another Sakazuki game. Let me make sure it's on 2x speed. Sorry, guys, because if these weren't on 2x speed, these videos would just run so long. I'd have to edit them or something. And I don't edit videos. I'm sorry, guys. Maybe in the future, right? Maybe once once school's out, Or when I, you know, in the future, let me pause real quick. In the future, I do plan on going down videos every day. Like I don't plan on doing 7 videos a week like I've been doing every single week for the rest of my life. But I wanted to do that for my first 350 videos, basically 1 year. That was my goal, was I wanted to do this for 1 year. So I could do it for 365 days probably. But after that, I want to slow down. I want to stop making, you know, videos every single day, and then maybe cut down to like 2 or 3 videos a week. And then I can actually just put more time into the videos as well, and like, you know, actually edit them and stuff like that. But we'll see. This is actually working out very well for me the way it is currently. So we'll see how things go in the future. Okay, so going against Sakazuki, he starts off with a brand new. I'm going to swing 8 at life here. Again, the deck lacks a little bit in the early game. Like 1, 2s, and 3 drops are not great. Like the only 3 drop I have is technically Holy, and then a beige. So it's like, you know, that's not very good. So I probably should have taken this first one. I'm going to be honest. Like looking back, I actually wish I would have taken the first hit. And I think it's fine to take the first hit unless you're playing around a discard effect. So play out the Miss All Sunday to ramp a little bit here. I swing 5, just seeing if he'll block with his Borsalino. He does. Play out the Miss All Sunday, like I said, to draw a card. And I'm getting a little bit flooded on Magellans. But that's not necessarily a bad thing in this deck, because we can cycle through them with Queen, and we can cycle through them with cards like the 8-cost Croc, you know, the character, with his effect. Okay, so I make him trash 2 cards from hand there. That's one of my favorite reasons, like, to play purple of any deck, is just putting Trafalgar Law in the deck, because it's just so good. So a little mistake there. I should have swung first. Let me pause. I should have swung 5 into brand new first thing first. Like, that's the first thing I should have did. Then played out my hand the way... Well, I don't know, because then maybe he would have used the counter from hand. It's possible. I didn't want to risk it, but technically I think that was still a play mistake. Oh, well, we'll see what happens. Not the end of the world, that's for sure. Because then he probably wouldn't have blocked with Borsalino if I had swung first, and he'd have just let the brand new go. Okay, so he's going to use the leader effect here to trash a card and draw a card. Swing 5 at life. I'm thinking, okay, I'll take it. Get a Satori, which there you go. Another reason why it's not the end of the world to have all these dead cards in hand. It's not a great thing. It's not a great thing, but it is fine because I can use, you know, discard effects to get him out of my hand. Okay, so he does not swing. I think he should have been more aggressive here with his Borsalinos, but I'm not going to lie. If he had been, I would have just eaten all those Borsalinos up for sure. Okay, so I'm going to draw 2 trash one here. We'll just get rid of the Magellan. I actually considered playing like double Magellan next turn to try to slow him down a little, but he can just remove them with cards like Borsalino. Okay, he drops, he turns that Borsalino sideways here, so I'm going to swing 6 into every one of these. It was going to be, I should have gone, you know, all 6s, and then, well, no, it would have been the same. I forgot that the Ohm was already a 6K. So I could have saved 1 Dawn there, which again, going back to what I was saying about Blast Breath or Narukabura Arrow, maybe I do need to slot some of those in somewhere, because it'd be nice to just to be able to get some type of value from our purple-yellow leader's effect. Because guys, honestly, I'm not using the leader's effect whatsoever. These are just like straight up, this might as well just be a vanilla purple-yellow leader. Okay, and he Hound Blazes my Queen out of the way, gives his brand new plus 3,000. And he plays out another Borsalino, getting rid of my whatever that was he got rid of. I think it was an Ohm or a Miss All Sunday or something. I can't remember. So it was the Trafalgar Law. That's what it was. And then so swing 6 at Satori. I'm not going to let him have that for free. I'm going to make him turn sideways with some of these cards. And he doesn't swing with Borsalino again. So I'm like, okay, that's fine. So I'm gonna get what I can here. First going for the the first thing I should have done is gone for the what's his name, the brand new. But I think I'm starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel, where it's like, you know what, you don't have any cards left in hand, so let's just gobble up this board. Okay, so then I go, is it 6 on here? Because I only need 8. Okay, yeah, I'm going to play Croc out here, the 8-cost character. So it's like, all right, just swing 5 at him, return 2 Dawn, go up a life. Now I have a cycle effect built in. And yeah, we're sitting pretty at this point for the most part, because we have 3 life and a decent board. Again, now his board is a little bit stronger than ours because he has 2 7-cost characters. But, you know, I'm not in a bad situation, I guess is what I'm trying to say. It's not necessarily ideal, but I'm in a fine situation here. Sakazuki always has answers. It goes through so many cards. Swing there. So he's obviously going to Lucci here. I use the Crocodile Characters effect. And I'm like, I don't want to go down too far in life because he has two 7K swings coming, or excuse me, two 8K swings coming in after this. Does Lucci to remove my 2 characters. Okay, he's doing the little effect now, returning cards, and boom. And then he Hound Blaze there. I don't know about that. I feel like that was a play mistake. But at the same time, it is what it is. So swings in there, swings there. I have to take it. And I'm like, okay, so let me swing 5 at life. Now let me swing 9 at life. And then we'll go 10 at life. GG. That's the nice thing about Enel, I will say. That's like this... at the same time, you could run 9-cost Kaido there, for sure. And that would have also been able to get around a blocker as well. Like, potentially like a Sanji. But it is a nice little effect there. Okay, and last matchup here we got against Nami. Good old-fashioned Nami. Okay, let me go to 2x speed. There we go. This was an interesting game here. Because I think if you know how to play around Nami, you're going to beat Nami most of the time. I will say that. I feel like no matter what deck I'm playing, I generally beat Nami every single time I play them. And I get it. These are sim players. These are players on the sim. But I've played against some very good players on the sim as well. But Nami, I feel like I said, I've definitely lost to Nami. But I'm just saying, generally speaking, if you know how to play around it, you can probably win in almost any circumstance. Unless they just hit 3 Sanji Pilaf triggers from life. Okay, yeah. In that situation, what do you do? In this situation, though, notice what I'm lining up. I'm about to drop the 4-cost purple, trash 2 law on them. Now, this is one of my favorite cards in the game right now, is the Trafalgar Law blocker. Because look at that. I got rid of a Sanji's Pilaf and something else. Who even cares what it is? I got rid of 2 cards in their hand. And that was going to draw them 2 cards. Okay, that is huge. Now, they did Sanji's Pilaf to get back up to 7. They're thinking, okay, well, since I got hit with 1, I better, gain cards back. Nope, bad idea. I'll hit you with another Trafalgar Law. Devastating. That got rid of a Desert Spada. And since I saw the Desert Spada, I do swing 7 here. Probably didn't need to do that looking back. Probably didn't need to do that. Okay, so here they go. They're going to pay 1. Looks like they might play out a Kaya or something. I don't know what they did. I'm not exactly sure what just happened there. I didn't get to see it. I think they played out the Kaya. I might have missed that. Sorry, guys. Okay, so I play out. So I'm not going to attack anymore. Now we're in stall mode because they have all their Dawn untapped. Now you need to go wide against them. If they're going to go no attacks and they're going to go full Dawn, open, do not swing into them. That's when you lose the game. Also, in this situation, now, by the way, I could have blocked this if I wanted to, but it's like, no, you can have 1 card trash from your deck if I get to draw a card for my life. That's completely fine. Now, do not do that against the cards. Let me pause real quick. Do not do that against the cards like Usopp, Zeph, and whatever the other. There's another character. Do not do it against the characters that when they hit, they make you lose 7 cards from excuse me. Y'all know what I'm trying to say. When they hit, they get to mill 7 of their own cards. You don't want to ever let those hit. Okay, so I'm just filling the board out. I'm saying go ahead. Now, next turn, now that I have a full board, then it's time to actually start attacking. Okay. So let's see what they do. Because that's what gets a lot of people. They get impatient. They just attack. It's like, dude, you're just playing into the Nami. Don't do that. Unless you have it depends on the deck. Like red decks and even like green decks like Kuro can probably get around it. But all right, so here we go. So we're going to swing 5. I think I might swing for all 6s or like a bunch of 5s and 6s. I'm trying to see what is my follow-up play here is going to be queen into page 1. Okay, so swing for swing 5 there, 5 there, 5 there, and then it's going to be all 6s and I think 1 7. Okay, and again, you see we're just gobbling up their hand. And let's see what they play here. Yep, sure. Give me a 9K counter on a 6K attack. That's fine. And then it's 7 for the last one. He gets Love Mellow or Love Beam, whatever it's called. I play out the queen. And then I'm going to play out the page 1 here. It doesn't matter. Like, I didn't need to replace the... I didn't need to go ulti into that. There's no reason to do that, right? Because I'd rather just have all 6K attacks here moving forward. All right. And then I have a Enel follow-up, by the way. You see, I do still have Enel. So he's got 4 cards in hand. He has 3 life. So here we go. I'm going to swing 6... every single time. It's going to be all 6s. And then I think 2 7s and then a third 7 through Enel. And there's there's almost no way to get around this, right? I mean, there's almost no way. So there we go. Just all 6s, like I said. Let's just see what they do. They still have 6 Dawn. So there you go. There's a Death Wink. He had to use a Death Wink on a 6K attack. Like, that's the point of the game where he's at. And I can't see how many cards he has 8 cards left in his library. Okay. So if he takes this, I'm pretty sure I've got it. Okay. And he threw a card back to hand. I'm like, okay, swing 7. And that's that, right? Okay, well, he did survive from it. But now, like, what does he have left? Like, that's kind of the logic. Now, he could technically win at this point. You know, if he had a pull-off in hand or something, he could have easily won. He has 7 cards left. But he passes back because he just doesn't have anything left. It's like, okay. Now, this part gets really crazy. So I swing for 17K. Watch this, though. This is Nami. This is Nami at its finest. Desert Spada, Death Wink, go to 19, has 5 cards left, and I'm like, oh, okay. I'm just going to keep swinging here. You either got it or you don't, and he did not have it. And I had a Missile Stunning Holy left in my life. So really cool game there against Nami. That was actually a very enjoyable matchup. And that's about it, guys. So Purple Yellow Croc, back to what we were saying. You know, I think, do I still have the... where is it? Yeah. So here's the actual deck itself, guys. Like I was saying, it has so much room for improvement. Like I said, maybe running it more through the Sky Island package, maybe going through the Baroque works. I don't even have Yamato in here. In OP06, we're gonna have access to all kinds of cool stuff, like with the new. Let me just go. It's probably gonna lag out a little bit for my computer because it's got to like load all these cards in. Okay, it wasn't too bad. Like, you know, coming out in OP06, we are going to have access to some of the really cool stuff, like this guy, Kazuki Momonosuke. At that point, maybe you run like a small package of like these Wano Country character, Land of Wano characters. Here's a 2K counter where you can set your life card. This Kikunojo card is just absolutely insane. But yeah, there's going to be a lot of interesting options. Like I said, I wasn't even running Gadatsu. If we do run the Land of Wano package, remember, where is she? The 9-cost Yamato. I don't even see her. Let me just type it in. Whoops. Okay, the 9-cost Yamato is Land of Wano. So this is a card you would be able to throw on the top of your library. Let me go back. And then there's a few other things you could always mess with. Like I said, you could go more the Big Mom Pirates version of the deck where you could run the Charlotte Katakuris. You know, there's a lot of options going forward. All right, well, I hope you guys enjoyed. Y'all tell me what y'all think in the comment section below. What kind of list are you running? All that good stuff. And please don't forget to like and subscribe if you have not already. And until next time, guys, peace.